We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to News from the Pew, where the internet is a thing and we talk about it. I am back from my glorious trip to Rome. You have all been lucky to be graced with my presence. I am Rick Barrett, host of Rickcast Reviews, founder of the Armed Papist, and a bunch of other things that nobody really pays attention to. And with me, as always, is the one and only Steve Cunningham, the godfather of Catholic alternative media and king of AI. I would actually say the master of AI. He's kind of like Tron. He's kind of like if you think about it, he's kind of like a mini Tron right now with the way he's manipulating the AI. But we are happy to be back after a week off, and no disappointment or no lack of topics to talk about here tonight, and we are happy to have you hang out with us. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, share the show on X if you are. If you're on Rumble, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and we are going to have a good time talking tonight about stuff. So I did find Luch. Luch's in the backpack. We did not I got Steve. Why is Steve even doing News from the Pew? I showed Steve a picture of Luch and the one that's coming that I'm sending to him next week. He's getting a Luch. He wanted one, and I spent the time, and I found him a little Luch. All right. It was in the Vatican post office where we found Luch, and we bought like 5 of them because 5 people wanted. We got a big one. We got 4 tiny ones. So yes.
We're like talking about little mini ones, like
yeah, it's like
on top of a cake.
She's a keychain. You're getting a keychain. Yeah. So enjoy it. So I help support the Vatican in that regard. And then I got to see the Pope on Sunday. So I was outside of St. Peter, so I took a picture of him. He's that big in the picture I took. But
so you were near him.
I was near. That's about as close as I was going to get to the Pope. But we did the Angelus. It was the Sunday. Yeah. So we did the Angelus. He did in Latin. Then he did his talk, and it was pretty cool. It was very.
So if you were in the Eucharist seats, you were closer.
No, I was actually outside of St. Peter's. There's the St. Peter's Square with the columns and everything. Outside of that is still the Vatican. There's this little shop on the right. If you go out on the right side, if you're St. Peter's going that way and you're leaving, there's a little place called St. Michael's Cafe. Got great coffee and stuff like that. We stopped there, and then we heard the crowd cheer, and I looked at my wife and I went, "He's here," and she goes, "Who?" Because she doesn't know. I was like, the Pope is here. And so we ran, we walked like 10 feet to the right, and then we saw him, and I was like, ah. And so
I'm picturing in my head, hey, there's the Pope. I can see him. Bust out this telescope. You see it right there. He's that little thing through my telescope. He's that.
It was Pirates of the Caribbean style, man. It was absolutely Pirates of the Caribbean style. And
man, ho.
It was. So
you wouldn't be able to know. I could tell because he's got white on.
yeah, it was funny because he was on the big screens, and I looked, and he's out there's a little window, and I was like, that's him, honey, and it's like looking at him. It was like looking at an ant. Yeah. And so it was pretty cool to see the Pope.
You should have took a selfie like all the other guys do and say, hey, I'm by the Pope. And then
yeah. I did tweet out. I was like, I got this close to the Pope today. So
because everyone's throwing stuff at him. So you got to look one of those like you go to a basketball game, they got the rocket launchers for t-shirts.
Yeah, I'm sure the Swiss Guard would have loved to see me launch a projectile from my shoulder-mounted cannon towards the Pope.
Incoming.
Yeah. As he's talking about gun violence. 1 second. Boom. It's from Texas. Hey.
Headline news.
Yeah, right.
The Armed Catholic knocks out Pope.
Well, everybody will know. Everybody will know me now. So that's how that goes.
I was just trying to get some clicks, but I wasn't trying for that.
I was just trying to get some promo. That's all. Everybody else was throwing stuff at him. I figured, why not?
It was the only way I could get my book to him.
Yeah. First of all, they're gonna be like, "How'd you smuggle a t-shirt cannon into Rome?" That's my first question. And secondly, what? But
we just go door to door to people going, bibbidi bobbidi. Do you have a potato cannon?
It's just a pipe, just a piece of pipe. I'll take care of the rest.
Yes.
I'll take care of the rest. But yeah, that was
that.
Yeah.
What is that coming?
Relax. Incoming on your left.
Somebody sent you a book. Oh, Your Holiness. It must be good because it damaged your head.
It did. It won't hurt. It won't hurt. It's a small enough book. It's more like it'll just give you a bruise. Yeah. Nothing too heavy. You'll be fine. But we also walked through the 4 holy door. We went through St. John Lateran, St. Mary Major, St. Paul outside the wall, and the Vatican. We went through the 4 holy doors. No, Father James Martin and I did not meet. We did not meet each other. He was there after I left.
I'm debating on going to Rome myself.
I mean,
Georgia is closer than Kentucky. So, I mean, I'm not like the cool guys. If you hear me saying I'm going to Rome, it's Georgia or Kentucky. Rome, Kentucky or Rome, Georgia.
There's Rome, Texas too.
Yeah, but that's too far away.
Yeah, I get it. I did see Paul Wall at the Vatican. That's right. That's a very good point. I also did the Holy Steps, which was amazing. Yeah, so it was a good trip. It was a very good trip. Very worth it. Yeah. Well, it was St. John Lateran is a beautiful church too. With all the stuff there, but it was good. A lot of stuff happened while I was gone, which was, of course, how things go. Things are happening. I'm sitting on the other side of the world, like, I did not see Cardinal Burke. I saw one bishop, but it wasn't anybody that I knew. So no, I didn't see anybody. I was just kind of like, hey. And I tried to go to the Vatican when there was not many people there. So I went out like Wednesday at 8 a.m. So I didn't want to deal with people. Lots of people there towards that time, but it is. But it was a good time.
Good.
Yeah. Yep.
Nothing happened when you were gone.
No. Luch will make an appearance next week. I'm just settling out the contract details with her before I can put her on the wall. But outside of that, yeah, nothing happened at all.
It's been kind of slow.
Yes, I was lucky. Nothing took place or people had opinions on things while it was gone. But what do you want to start with?
I guess Caitlin Clark in the second half of the WNBA.
Oh yeah,
no,
she's done. She's done. No more.
I was just totally kidding. I didn't know that any of that. I just threw out something completely random. I didn't know she hurt or something.
Yeah, she hurt. Well, it's a whole thing. Like she's just not. If you watch Jason Whitlock, he's covered.
I didn't know that was going to backfire on me. I just threw something out. I didn't know you actually were going to say, "Oh yeah, she's done." What? Huh? What?
Yeah, well, that just actually came up on X like right before we went on. She's not going to play the rest of the season. So yes.
Okay. There goes. I guess I'll cancel my WNBA subscription.
Yeah, me too. My Caitlin Clark jersey, I'm gonna have to return it.
Get a refund for my 25 cents.
I don't know. It's kind of like a textbook. You're only gonna get 15 cents now.
Yeah.
They can't give you the full refund. It's impossible.
What kind of world is it? You pay a quarter, you can only get 15 cents back.
Well, if you take the digital money, you can get the full 25.
Maybe I'll do crypto next.
Yes. See, that is the future. That is the future, is the crypto.
Speaking of future.
Yep. That's the now we've talked our way into a transition.
Since he was gone, I guess you could play Kelly Clarkson. Since I was gone.
Yeah.
There was a shooting last week. There's a shooting every day. But this one has had the focus on everyone with a pulse, I guess. Chicago had a couple dozen killed. Gaza, no one cares about it. If there's 100 people that die tomorrow, no one cares. Happens daily. How many people in Chicago? There was in my neck of the woods. If you look on the cops website, I think there was two people got killed down the road, not too far, not like down the road, but a couple miles down the road. I live in Gastonia. Okay, when you see the APB guys, there are literally horns tattooed on people there. I mean, I sent this dude. How did I send it to you? A photo of a guy that got incarcerated. He had horns, a couple of nose rings that looked like a bull, and a couple of things else. I think something was growing up here. And I sent it to our boy Joe, and he responded back with something like, "I can't believe that happened." I go, "Dude, did you not see the horns?" Oh, shit. No, it was like, what kind of name is that? His name was like 15 letters. He's like, "What kind of name is that?" I go, "Did you see the horns?"
No, he's stuck on the letter. He's stuck in the name, bro.
Yes.
Stuck in the name.
But not to make light of the situation, because false flags can have people dying. My personal opinion, everything. I'm not going to speak for Rick on this unless he wants to jump in on it. My tinfoil hat meter went AWOL. Well, not AWOL, went off the charts that day, thinking there's something screwy going on, and everyone is focused, as we keep saying, you're going to be hyper focused on here, and there's going to be a right hook coming somewhere else afterwards. Something when they tell you to watch whatever, focus on this, when the media is all about focus, there's something up, and nothing. It still smells fishy to me. Anyway, so there was a shooting at the Catholic Church in Minnesota, where all kinds of things are happening now. Mm-hmm. What one thing is not being told to you is the after effect.
Now about to launch Gideon, America's first ever AI threat detection platform built specifically for law enforcement. It scrapes the internet 24/7 using an Israeli-grade ontology to pull specific threat language and then routes it to local law enforcement. It's a 24/7 detective. It never sleeps, and it's going to get us in front of these attacks.
Would it have picked up on this, do you think?
100%. I wish my program would already be up. We're not launching until next week. I've got a dozen agencies on board, Trace. I just unloaded a major Northeast agency with over 2,700 sworn. This is America's early warning system.
That was on Fox News the day of the night or evening of the shooting. Again, problem, reaction, solution. Oh, they already have this thing going. The guy that looks like he's mad at everything has his own show. He's a former IDF soldier. By the way, that thing is built by or sponsored by Palantir too. What else?
Yeah.
What?
Interesting.
Very interesting. Not to be outdone is Melania Trump.
This is great. I did see this.
How come I can't remove that? Where is it? Melania Trump, before bodies were cold, the tragic mass shooting in Minnesota illuminates the need for preemptive intervention in identifying potential school shooters. Early warning signs were often evident, with many individuals exhibiting concerned behaviors and making violent threats online prior to their actions. In our homes, extending to the school districts, of course, social media platforms. This is talking about a crucial look at behavioral threat assessments across all society. What we just saw that video? He's talking about 24/7 monitoring, preemptive pre-crime, minority report, everything like that. And the thing that's kicking my rear is that I'm the only one in this. I'm the only one in conservative ink, or whatever you want to. If you want to throw me in conservative ink, whatever. I'm the only one that's even mentioned this. I've had Seamus ask me about links for it, and he's never said anything back. I sent it to a couple of guys that do talk shows. They never said anything of it. No Catholic guy has even brought it up. 0.0. You can ask them. Have they ever heard of Gideon? They will probably look at you like you're an idiot because they have no clue what you're talking about. I've actually had a guy tell me that. Like, I've been posting about it all week. How'd you not see this?
Yeah. The fact that you have the first lady pushing it is a huge red flag on this idea of like, we need to pretext indicators, and we can couple that. We'll kind of combine, the last topic about the DOJ gun ban. You toss this in there because they're using the momentum of, hey, we have to get you saw Catholic Twitter say we got to get the guns out of the trannies' hands. We have to get the guns out of the trannies' hands. And it's just like, this is it's another post 9/11 situation that you're seeing that ended up in the Patriot Act. There was a lot of momentum where we had to get the Muslims, and we had to secure the airports, and we had to do this, and we can't do it. We have to shove it all together, and we have to do it with these different things. And it seems like you're getting conservatives, quote unquote conservatives, not quote unquote, you're getting conservatives, you're peeling off conservatives to support gun control, and any kind of red flag law restriction or anything like that, folks, is gun control. You're having that group do it, and then you're having people support the pre-crime unit, and you're doing all these other kinds of things. The technocracy, in addition to, we're just going to shove everything together. Sorry, Steve. The idea of Trump occupying cities, right? It's okay. DC is the safest place in the world. So let's now, what are they going to use to help occupy these places? They're going to use these programs to do so. So all of these things seem to kind of be combining to one mega stream of, oppression that we're all just kind of cheering on, depending on what part of the section or what part of the thing some people are cheering on pre-crime, Steve. Some people are like, it's a great idea. It's an absolutely great. We need to have pre-crime. We need to keep it safe.
If Cackles were to call this out, or Brandon or Obama, people would be losing their marbles. But because our team is doing it, totally cool. This came out now 13 days ago.
The engineers who built Israel's Iron Dome protection system are unveiling.
Did you hear that? Let's start over. The people that built the Iron Dome.
The engineers who built Israel's Iron Dome protection system are unveiling a new AI-powered threat detection device for large crowds. Reporter Evan Brown shows us how it works.
Public security has been a challenge ever since 9/11 with screening and x-rays, but now artificial intelligence could be taking it over. Prompted by the uptick in mass shootings and other scares, more tech startups are focusing their AI efforts on keeping folks safe without compromising personal privacy.
We see all these deep technology evolve in more practical way. So we're very happy about that.
And you might see it in action at your next concert or ball game. An Israeli startup led by the engineers behind the Iron Dome just launched Scannery, a new security system using AI and radar to screen up to 25,000 people an hour in crowded spaces.
It means that security teams get better augmented reality-driven awareness, while visitors can expect freely and feel safe.
It works in the background, quietly detecting concealed threats and alerting security in real time, but there are no cameras, no body scanners, and no invasive pat-downs.
Nothing personal is captured. Only threats are flagged.
It's part of a growing movement that's seen public security embracing AI, and unlike other tech trends, this one could be here to stay.
It's more than a trend. I think it's
again,
the future.
Israeli-backed guys from the Iron Dome. I did a thing a couple of weeks ago on Clown Planet where they list all these things that are being tested by Israel. Speaking of which, one thing was tested in Israel, the Gibbity jab was tested in Israel. That was the experimental list. Everything that's going on over there is coming here. And then what we saw with Gideon, an Israeli-backed thing, sponsored by Palantir. This thing, Scannery, don't worry, there's more. I forgot about that. Here's another one.
Oh, wait, there's more.
Yeah, but wait, there's more. Where's he at? Here's ICE to gain access to Paragon software after Brandon order is dropped. So Brandon stopped this thing, but Trump's letting it back in, let it start up. Here, U.S. ICE is on track to gain access to controversial spyware designed to hack phones and read private messages after the DJT administration jettisoned a Brandon area order. Trump reactivated an ICE contract for spyware from Tel Aviv-based Paragon. Everything is about Israel started. We're Israel first. Israel's using this. The ethnic cleansing going on. When will it be that the ethnic cleansing is a test run over there for what they're going to do over here? Because they're using all the same stuff over there. They're going to use over here now. It's all coming over here. And what is our guys doing? Again, if you find me somebody in our circle talking about this, I'll give you the keys. That I don't have anything to give you. I'll give you a fork. I'll give you a Luch doll. What do you do? I mean,
you know how those Luch dolls are defined? Anyway, continue.
No, what were you saying?
You know how hard those Luch dolls are defined? Don't be giving that away.
It's a collector's item right there.
It is.
Where's all our guys talking about? They're focusing on this tranny. But when that thing went down, Glenn Greenwald had a great one. He goes, if anybody comes up and says, oh, this guy did it because of this, they're lying, because this guy hit all these check marks. He was bringing up this guy in Greenland that shot someone else. He was bringing Hitler. He was bringing this. He was left, right, up, down, center. Hate Don, hate this, hate this. There was nobody that he didn't check off, which was the confusing thing, because you couldn't center, like you couldn't pinpoint a thing on there because it was all over the charts. And then I'm going, well, how does this kid get that much ammunition, weapons? Or like, he's just making some kind of it. Could that have been an actor? Everyone's going, well, he's possessed. How the heck do you know if he's possessed or not? Because he did a video? I mean, let's now.
Or you're looking at a manifesto that's produced.
Everyone has a manifesto. Oh, you know how fast I can write it. I can get AI to say, hey, type me up a little manifesto on this, include that. And it will pump that thing out in 5 minutes. I did something like that for a couple posts. I think it looked pretty darn good. I was scary good. So you can have anything happen. Plus, on top of that, what if no one has a clue about this guy's background? They're not talking to their mom. They know the dad's working in the FBI or CIA, one of the two. The reports of the people inside, we didn't see a shooter. How do you guys know who it is? I mean, even the one that came out today, we didn't see him. He was out there outside the windows, and we didn't see the guy. Okay, well, it could have been anybody. I mean, they literally could. I know. I'm not saying 2 people didn't die. I'm saying the guy on the other side of the screen. We're supposed to trust the TV, because if that's the case, put the mask back on, because the TV told us to put the muzzle on and not ask any questions. I can't stop asking questions on it. What's going on? And then why is Melania coming up with pre-crime? Why are these things coming up pre-crime? And nobody going, timeout. We saw a minority report. That's not what we voted. Pound hashtag. That's not what we voted for. Nothing.
Yeah. The whole thing is just how much speed this stuff moves with, and the fact that you have. I will say this, Steve. There was a reason Trump was allowed back into the Oval Office. You and I have been saying that since November of last year, because if, like you said, if it was Cackles that was putting all this out, there would be protests and all kinds of things. But now it's like, no, it's a good idea. No, it's a good idea. And it kind of going back into the gun control thing, because we're just going to loop all of these things in together. You know, when people are debating that, and Michael, very smart guy in our chat, he debates me on this kind of stuff. My whole thing is, yeah, even if the Trump administration has the right intentions, which you can debate, what happens is once this thing's codified into law, it's never going away. And B, it will expand. The definition of mentally ill will expand to whatever parameter whoever the bureaucracy that is in charge wants it to be. And that's a place you just don't want to be. You just don't want to be lined up in that at the discretion of President BBL or President Jasmine Crockett or President whoever it is on these things. So it's just,
if you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. Plus, on top of that, the federal government has no power to say anything about gun control. So Congress shall not. That means literally Congress shall not. Now, a state can do whatever it wants. In Minnesota, like Minnesota comes out and says they want to do a gun ban.
Yep.
It sucks that you're in Minnesota. Go in there and amend the Constitution if that's it. But you haven't done it in 100 years. But that's on you. If governor, if he wants to get rid of guns in Minnesota, sorry.
The crazy thing is they have red flag laws. They have all those things on the books already. Now they just want flat out confiscation. And the sad thing is, like you said, if they want to do confiscation, there's nothing that would stop that.
Yeah, we use the R word. We have a right. Well, they have a right too, and it's in the Constitution of Minnesota. That's why every state has a constitution. If you don't have that in there, you should work to get that in or out, whatever. I mean, we saw one guy said he got a local ordinance together to stop weed in his area. That can happen. That's what acting locally, thinking locally. Great idea. Great job.
Yep.
If you're in the state of Minnesota, you either get involved and try to fix Minnesota in the state house, or move to Florida where they're banning chemtrails, where they're looking for a vote on property tax. Hey, sir, you want to pay for your property?
Did you see today? They're getting rid of state mandated vaccines.
They're doing. They did that. They were talking about that yesterday. Yeah, that's fantastic.
So, Steve's got the moving van going right now.
We're kind of in for a few more months in the here and now here thing, but I'm waiting for the prices to go down, which is coming. That's coming.
Yeah,
too.
There's Trump talked about last week that there's going to be some kind of bailout or some kind of help. They said some kind of help. The only true help that the housing market would get is a total crash out. That's the natural way. It has to crash out. and people are going to have to lose money. And it sucks. I'm sorry. It stinks because people have overinflated homes. Most people are underwater if they bought their home. They bought their home post 2020, most likely underwater. And I'm sorry to say that, but the only way this thing ever truly corrects is if it crashes out naturally. But what's probably going to happen, Steve, is you're probably going to get a bailout. You're probably going to get a bailout for these people and some kind of thing. And you know what? I just thought about this. The way they'll encourage people, Steve, is they'll have the bailout given to them in digital currency. Hey, we'll give you a bailout if you just have to accept it and set up an account at government or whatever. And we'll do it through whatever the coin is. It's not central digital currency. It's whatever the private sector one. Stablecoin. Yeah, we'll do it through stablecoin. And so it could be a way to get rid of that as well.
Yeah, that thing's going to burst badly, and maybe he'll do something like we talked about before about the forgiveness, student loan forgiveness for people to try to get some money in there because people are they just ended the SAVE Act for student loaners. Yeah, because the SAVE Act was making that monthly payment lower, so now that's gone. So that's ballooning up. So that's going to make more people not able to pay for them because I don't know if anybody's gone to the grocery store. You've been gaslighted for the last couple of months. Everything's so cheap. Great googly moogly. It was $100. You go, not even have to fill up a grocery cart and get $150 easily. And then gas. They were talking about how gas was the cheapest 5 years. The day after Labor Day here, gas went up 18 cents.
Yeah. 100%. The idea that food is the people are struggling. People are hurting. Brick, he came on my show. He's like, for me, it's $230 just for me, just to eat like the basic stuff. If I want to eat well, it's $230 just for me.
Yeah.
And people are he's the same thing. He's like, don't tell me it's getting better because it's not. And you look at like Michael, I just highlighted you. If you look at the reason why like Las Vegas is empty, people are showing pizzas. Oh, look, you can get this pizza at this hotel, $85.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what, $85 for a pizza?
That keep me going for a couple days.
Yeah, it better be like one of Trump's golden pizzas for like $85. But the price things are out of control. And the fact of the matter is we have a lot of this stuff that is just superlative. The inflation that's taking place. They're pumping money into Bitcoin to try and do this. The U.S. Treasury bought another $2 billion of its own debt on September 3rd.
Well, talking about the coaches thing about cheaper gas, what do you think we're going to Venezuela for? They got some oil we want, baby.
It's time to liberate some oil, homie.
Liberate some oil. There we go.
Well, that's all.
Think they care about drugs? They're drug dealers themselves. It's a cartel fighting a cartel.
Yeah, and nobody's gonna be mad about. I mean, yeah, Thomas Massey and others and Rand Paul are like, oh well, why we shouldn't be. Hardly anybody's gonna cry tears over blowing up some drug dealers. That's
another thing. That thing. Did you see the interview when they asked us by what authority? And JD said, "Oh, I don't." But by the authority that they were terrorists. How do you know they were terrorists? Did you ask them?
It's Team America.
Rubio said that we could have stopped it, but then we could have just stopped them and checked them out. Then Trump said, no, blow them up. Is that they're in international waters? The same rules that apply here do not apply in international water. We are in dangerous mindset on it. He's literally going, we're just going to blow people up. Rubio's talking about, we're just going to blow people up. If you're coming from another place, it don't mind if you're on a raft or something, you might get
you better watch out.
Dropped on you.
Yeah. As they said, as George Carlin said, you better watch out. You got some brown people in your country with some oil, you better watch out.
Dude.
We sent like 14 aircraft carriers.
This is great. I voted for that. You voted to kill people on HD.
Yeah. Well, they got, football season started, but they needed something to watch before then.
I guess so. I mean, I guess the ethnic cleansing isn't good enough out there, by the way, which Trump has said, yeah, we need to go even harder. I mean, the Washington Post comes out with this PDF on the Gaza smart city. Literally, if you read the PDF, it talks about smart grids and smart this and smart that. And one person go, we're putting a smart city of luxury apartments on top of the bodies of kids.
Yeah, the bodies aren't even cold.
Yeah, and remember, they're caring about these kids, but then you got the Epstein thing going on, and they're killing kids over. I don't believe one guy in DC gives two you-know-whats about kids.
No, they don't. I said this yesterday after we covered the press conference on my show. I said, DC runs on kids. Whatever you want to, blood or whatever, blah, 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 it runs on them. So they are not out to protect them in any way, shape, or form, which is why now you have the Epstein victims coming out being like, we're going to release our own list. And everybody in my chat was like, I hope you all have notes that say, I am in my right mind and I love my life, because you're about to get Hillary Clinton. All y'all. I hope you all don't go on the same cruise ship, because it's going to be the Titanic 2.0. You're going to hit, it's not going to be an iceberg. It's going to be a drone strike on the Titanic, and you're all going to sink.
Yeah, no, that's he actually Derek Bros is all over this out there. He's actually in DC, got some interviews together. He took some photos of things like this, and he mentioned about he said something about, if anybody is asking about why did they just say some words about who's just start name dropping up at the press conference. He said the same things. Those people they're afraid of their lives. They just can't just say it right there.
Yeah. You had the lawyer, the Epstein, I don't know who it was. We've seen in the files, and everybody's like, then just say it. Everybody's seen it, but nobody they all go that close to it. Oh, once you've seen the files, and everybody's like, you're the 19th person to tell me what you've seen in the files. Then show me. But nope, everybody just wants to tease that I've seen it and what's going to happen after this. And it's just like, it's, whatever, man. You guys have successfully made the Epstein thing just a non-issue. Nobody cares about it anymore, because you've cried wolf so many times. The Epstein victims finally came out. You got Massey, who Trump threatened now. Yeah, you saw that. He was like, oh, anybody who helps Massey release this list is a hostile threat to the administration. And Massey's like, what an odd thing to say. What an odd thing.
We're not even a year into this.
Yeah, it's like, I'm just trying to do what you guys said you were going to do on the campaign trail. Now I'm a threat.
Was it? Oh. Yeah, let me see if I can find that. Sal the Agorist had I don't know if you saw his meme.
No, I probably did, but I'm a little retarded, so I probably forgot it already. But the fact is, like, they did this press conference and we're going to make our own list. Maybe you shouldn't have said anything. Maybe you should have just done the list first. And then yep, I've seen that. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And you got to give Massey respect, because they're like, oh, he's working with Massey's working for his constituents, man. He's like the only guy in Congress, maybe MTG, because she's there too, and she's at least calling attention to it, that are actually working for the constituents and not like for the most favored nation and whatever the most favored nation wants to be done. Because and the sad thing is that the most favored nation we didn't talk about this. Benjamin Netanyahu, when he said, if you're not Israel, you can't be MAGA and not support Israel. You have to support Israel in order to be MAGA. And everybody said, you're not helping the case. You're not helping the case when you say stuff like that, because that just makes us all think, oh yeah, well, Trump is in the bag and MAGA is in the bag for these people. Yep. This is perfect as well. Everybody who calls people like Steve and I who call panicans. Oh, you guys are panicans. Well, a year ago, you guys were like, release the files. Now you're like, I don't need to see the files. And you guys used to be like, no gun control ever. Now you're like, give me red flag laws, daddy. And it's just like, can you be more transparent?
Yeah, Rick, you can say we're old enough to remember that they were talking about ending the FBI, ending the IRS.
I remember when the current FBI director said he was going to shut down the FBI on day one and turn it into a museum.
That seemed like so far long ago. I could have sworn I remember hearing that.
Yeah, I remember the whole thing. I remember the whole thing, except he did shut down the FBI. He just moved it into the new USAID building.
Yeah.
So say whatever you will.
Hey,
if people want to talk about USAID and how USAID was shut down, actually, no, it wasn't. It was just moved under Marco Rubio and the State Department. So
it's good. We're getting played like a fiddle. We're not too far away though from JD taking over.
I mean, that, you know, it's kind of funny that JD is talking about that.
Yes.
I was like, I'm ready to take over at any point. And everybody went,
yes.
What an odd thing to say.
Yeah, nobody wanted to go, question in the back. Why are you talking about this?
He's not dead. Of course, this weekend, what was the big trending thing?
Yeah,
Trump is dead. Trump is dead. And then they're like, look at his left hand. And it's like, okay, guys, we get it. We did the Biden thing for 4 years, but Trump's actually moving around under his own power. So
I think Trump's got 2 years of this, and then they're going to take him out somehow. And then JD Thiel comes in. And you're going to have technocracy from Hades for the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have Catholics cheering it on.
Because of Catholic JD. Catholic JD, man. He's a Catholic, man. Okay.
You even see trads cheering it on. Because don't worry, just being trad doesn't mean you're not immune from embracing the police state or being a technocrat or being a corporationista or just being a nationalist in general. You can be completely idiotic, but go to the old mass. That doesn't make you a smart person just because you go to the old mass.
Does he go to the old mass? I didn't know that.
No. I'm just talking about us, right? People in our circle.
Oh, okay.
You're going to have people in our circle cheering this on. Because again, they ain't no trads calling out this AI stuff right now. They call out AI photos. I can't believe you put an AI photo up. I can't believe you put a thumbnail. Guys, they're literally putting together a Minority Report in real life, and you're worried about an AI photo. It
is very worrying how some things are just kind of being swept under the rug for stuff. But Steve, I completely agree. I think you get to 20. I think after the midterms, depending on, if the midterms go really badly, that might give them an excuse to kind of, I did my thing and apparently it's this, that, and the other. And that, they'll be what, 81 by that point or whatever the case may be. And
everyone was always thought I was nuts anyways when I was telling everyone Trump's winning this a year in advance and it's not going to be even a thing. Stop worrying. What happened? And all the other stuff about the Rona from years before. This is going on a stretch. I don't think he's going to make the whole 4 years, and you're going to have JD come in. Like I said, last week he's literally talking about stepping in. As you said, why?
Kamala, when Joe Biden was bent, like slumped over a chair and looked like he was dead, Kamala was like, he looks fine. He looks fine. Everything's great. Don't worry about it. Trump sneezes and JD's like, I am ready.
Sign me up.
Even Trump's like, JD, it's a little soon. It's a little soon on that one. We're trying to do the correct.
I will say, yes, he is right. I know there are plenty. I know I'm the majority of, again, you see what happened. You see everyone talking about commentating on the shooting that happened last week. None of them have brought up any of these connections. They're all talking about either people can't putting them as calling martyrs or talking about somebody brought up weed. I was like, yeah, we that stupid that we're going to blame weed on this. Someone else brought up obviously the tranny thing. Yes, that's a great smokescreen because everyone's going to be in it. That's going to make you, oh yeah, it is that. Then we got to get rid of, stop banning the gun. They can't have any guns, which is going to be why, hey, we're going to violate the Second Amendment and let DC violate that because of motions. And we don't want people to have that because of this, which, as Rick said, will lead to something else. Somebody I can't find the clip again. It was on CNN or MSNBC Sunday, one of the Sunday shows, I think. And the guy was making the argument for what we've been saying. If when the other team comes in, they're going to do something like this because of the precedent's been set. And they were worried about it. And the other guy was like, uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Brian, I know we do too. We're talking about like, and
that's what I'm talking about when he posted that up.
We're talking about like your big guys like Bosevic, like Jack Bosevic and those guys who kind of spot talk about certain things, and
Jack is never going to bring this up.
No, he's and stuff like that. Like your mainstream Catholics Steve Bannon, right? Bannon supposedly is a Catholic. He's never going to bring that kind of stuff up. That's who we mean, like the MAGA cheerleaders.
I've been mocked by some trad Catholic video guys just for saying smart dust, and I backed it up with evidence.
Yeah.
And these are guys that have been on for decades or a couple decades, and they're not bringing this up.
No, and
Dude,
because it doesn't.
Those same guys sold muzzles.
Yeah, I mean, it's not in their interest.
No.
I can say now the easiest way, it's not in their interest to bring it up. And that's okay, because Steve and I will continue to ring the bell over here a couple years in advance of everybody else.
Well, like I said, I hope I'm wrong on the Gideon, but that was Fox News. That wasn't an Alex Jones show. That was a Fox News infomercial on what this guy has going on. He's got Palantir backing. Huh?
Also, real quick, that the way that was produced and put together, that had to be, if just being in the media world, that had to be not pre-planned, but put together, set up, all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
they called him in to come into the set. He has his own YouTube channel where he talks about this all the time. He's begging people for money, and that's what part of it. There's actually a 10-minute clip when he goes into it and all that stuff. But yeah, he's done it a couple months ago. He was on Fox talking about. That's where I know about the Palantir thing, because he mentioned it 2 months ago about it's supported by Palantir. And then that night, he's on the set talking about it, and people are looking. Ryan Christian, the Last American Vagabond, goes, he did a show, goes, I cannot believe how many people in the liberty movement has not talked about this. It's like it's gone undercover, and it was on Fox freaking News.
Yeah.
It was like it was in the underground the black web or dark web, and some tinfoilhat.com channel had it. No, that was on
main
show.
Yeah, prime time with its own spot. And it's very interesting how these things seem to just kind of run together. And it's all of the things that we're talking about, the fact that you have widespread acceptance. And I know somebody was giving us a little bit of nonsense earlier when it's like, there were this many murders in Chicago, needs to send in the National Guard, stuff like that. No, you got Stephen. I mean, you got Steve and I to at least back off a little bit on DC, because it was a federal, the whole federal concept, blah, blah, blah. But DC is it's under the state of Illinois with a constitution and an executive. And so, yes, I don't like Fat Pritzker either. I don't like Gavin Newsom either. I don't live in these places. And the people of Illinois are really sick of Chicago. They got to figure out a way to fix it. If the people of LA, they got to fix it. They can't. The solution is never the federal government stepping in, because it's just going to be used for, they don't give up power. They don't give this stuff up.
Here's your boy talking about it.
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When we lose, when 20 people are killed over the last 2.5 weeks, and 75 are shot with bullets. So let me tell you a little story about a place called DC.
How many shot with forks? Does that happen somewhere else?
DC, District of Columbia, right here where we are. It's now a safe zone.
That's a lie, by the way.
We have no crime. It's in such great shape.
Apparently it's utopia.
You can go and actually walk with your children, your wife, your husband. You can walk right down the middle of the street. You're not going to be shot, Peter. You're safe.
Lined up on Chicago.
Yeah, guess what? You didn't get shot before all that too. It was just depending on where you went, during when you went. Just like any other city in the planet, might be a bad time to go there. You don't go into Compton, I guess. You don't go. There's a place in Charlotte you don't go after hours. There's places
like Austin where you just don't go into. Period.
Yeah. So he lies about that stuff, and then on top of that, the number one city, you said the worst crime. It wasn't even the top 20.
Yeah.
But the whole thing about Chicago, okay, Chicago's one of the top populated cities in the world. guess what? It's going to have more crime numbers, but per capita, it's not even close. It's not even in the tops. On top of that, it's a straight up violation of Posse Comitatus.
Yeah.
How many of the Fox News crowds have brought up that? Probably none. Nobody talked media. You see Mark Levin, Glenn Beck. Anybody bring up Posse Comitatus? Nope. What is? I've been bringing it up for weeks now. It started after Reconstruction. Why? Because people didn't like that the U.S. federal government military came down to the South, destroyed it, ethnic cleansed it, burned it to the ground, killed everybody down there, and then set up a police state, which they did. If you look, there's a great book called Reconstruction by the Kennedy twins. Just type in KennedyTwins.com. You'll see it, Reconstruction. Fantastic. But your mouth will drop of the stories that went down on that. So as a federal act, you cannot use the federal military to go into cities. The loophole he's using is to say that he's calling in the National Guard and saying the governors of the kiss butt governors, pretty much, that are allowing this, like going in Louisiana now, going into New Orleans. Louisiana got a red guy. He's a GOPer. He's kissing Trump's tail. He's going to say that he's asking for it and he's going to command the National Guard. Which, if he did that, it wouldn't be a violation of Posse Comitatus. But what realm do we think that Trump's not going to try to tell him what to do?
Yeah, it's just going to be a stepping stone for it, and that's just something we cannot support. And it's really bad, Steve, that people are just, well, it's our guy. Trump's going to fix it, and that's guys. You realize this system is not designed. Even if you get 8 years or 10 years of Vance, eventually somebody else is gonna come in, and it actually scares me, the idea of 10 years of JD Vance and the technocracy that will be allowed to flourish under him, and then having a Democrat run right behind that, only to expand it. So all
they have to do is set up and say, hey, there's an emergency, government by emergency. Oh, we're gonna go down to Greenville, South Carolina, whatever.
Yep.
There's an emergency there. We're gonna send the troops down in there.
Yep.
You think that's foolish? They shut down the world a couple months ago over the sniffles. They're arguing about that right now. Notice, by the way, you see that Kennedy was not blaming his boss for shutting. It only Brandon did anything. He mandated the jab. So the guy that came up with it is hands clean.
Yeah, well, when that's your boss, you got to figure out a workaround.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, come on, man.
You got to figure out a workaround. I mean, I did enjoy a lot of RFK's press conference or his stuff today, and I don't even blame him. I don't even blame him in that regards, because I feel like his hands are tied on that one. So it's,
he's watching a 6 on that one. He knows, because BJP comes out and says in a social thing that warp speed wasn't right or something like that. And you just said yesterday how great it was.
Mm-hmm. And RFK is like, I can keep my mouth shut on the vaccine if it keeps me in this place, and I can get rid of the red dyes. That's really what I want to do.
By the way, you see his second in command is a Peter Thiel guy.
Nope.
There's so many Peter Thiel acolytes in this group. It's amazing. The guy, he's a blood drinker. One of those guys thinks he can be immortal. I did a little thing. Look at him up. It's Jim something. I can't remember his last name now. Another Peter Thiel guy. And again, that's why Trump's going to be gone soon, and they're going to have Peter Thiel as president. I mean JD. I forget. I keep calling JD Peter Thiel Jr.
It's actually interesting because I sent you that clip of Joe Rogan, of all people.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan was like, this is weird. I mean, it's just very strange how
he's doing a 4-week symposium on the Antichrist.
Yep. And we all saw that clip where he's like, I don't know if I want humanity to survive. And everybody went, what an odd thing to say.
I just want the interviewer, wait a minute, you're taking a little too long to answer that question.
Even the interviewer went, yeah, this is not comfortable for me. I don't want to be.
You're like moving back a little bit. Is this guy going to try to kill me?
Yeah. Take your time on this one. I'll be right back. Bye.
Think it over. We'll talk amongst ourselves.
Yep. We can keep doing this. What's next week good for you? Because I am not coming back here.
You got Kim Jong-un and Putin and them saying that if they just do some organ transplants, they can live to 150.
I mean, there's like 16 body doubles of Kim Jong-un anyway, or so they'll be he'll be alive even after he's dead. So that's pretty standard for that. And all Japanese people or Chinese people look the same. So
man, there's some crazy, what stuff going on right now. And again, that's why I think that the shooting, everyone's hyper focused on that, going, you missed the forest and just looking at this one bush right there.
Yeah, I agree. How it kind of, because it was weird. I remember watching X that morning, and it was kind of just very dull, and then everybody kind of just hyper focused on that, and of course, because of the tragedy of having children involved, it just sucked all the air out of the room for anything else.
Yeah,
it just sucked.
It's terrible. That's terrible. But we had guys going on that evening.
Mm-hmm.
We know 100% that this guy was demonically oppressed. We know it because of trans. We had guys acting like that. They knew all the facts. Like they were there. They had everything been around. Oh yeah, they didn't bring up Gideon at all. They didn't bring up anything like that at all. They didn't question one thing. It was just we're 100%. We're going to throw some Catholic stuff out like possession, this because even the New York Times.
I will say they went on. Whoever went on. That's that's just the nature of the beast. You can't. I mean, if that happened, if I was in town, we probably would have gone on too. I
brought it up in Clowney in CP Clown Planet wrap up.
Yep.
But it definitely wasn't that spin. I was already asking about. Wait a minute, what's this stuff going on? This doesn't make sense here.
Well, to be fair too, Steve, outside of you and me, one of the things is that it just doesn't interest anybody else to look into, right?
Yeah.
Or it's not on their radar, which, if it's not on their radar, they should watch a show, but then it would be, and I don't want to, I'm not trying to run excuses for everybody, but ignorance is bliss for a lot.
Well, I had a bunch of guys texting me up, or are you saying no one got shot? I didn't say that. People died during false flags. See 9/11, see Lusitania. See Pearl Harbor. You had to have something that get the reaction that they wanted. They set like Pearl Harbor. You had to get the ships put in. They knew about the warning beforehand. Yep. FDR put him there because he knew if that would happen, they would get everyone in so he can get the war. And it happened. And they got the thing in the Lusitania, same thing.
And if you guys, how about this one? The USS Maine, the one that was blown up in Havana Harbor. For to give us pretext to go into Cuba.
Yeah.
That one was, that one just, the USS Maine just blew up in Havana Harbor. It went in there, it parked, and it blew up. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, October 7th. Hey, here's Patrick Clausen talking about it.
I frankly think that crisis initiation is really tough. And it's very hard for me to see how the United States president can get us to war with Iran. Which leads me to conclude that if, in fact, compromise is not coming, that the traditional way of America gets to war is what would be best for U.S. interests. Some people might think that Mr. Roosevelt wanted to get us into World War II, as David mentioned. You may recall we had to wait for Pearl Harbor. Some people might think Mr. Wilson wanted to get us into World War I. You may recall he had to wait for the Lusitania episode. Some people might think that Mr. Johnson wanted to send troops to Vietnam. You may recall he had to wait for the Gulf of Tonkin episode. We didn't go to war with Spain until the until the Maine exploded.
Yes,
and may I point out that Mr. Lincoln did not feel he could call out the Federal Army until Fort Sumter was attacked, which is why he ordered the commander at Fort Sumter to do exactly that thing which the South Carolinians had said would cause an attack. So if, in fact, the Iranians aren't going to compromise, it would be best if somebody else started the war.
He gets into it, goes, maybe a ship, maybe a submarine just doesn't come down because it happens over there. Just because something happened doesn't mean there wasn't anybody pulling some strings in the back. Again, there's some things like the video going so still, going, all right, the narrative said 30 to 50 rounds just got off, and they don't know what a shooter. They actually hear in the video they don't know what a shooter is, but they send the kids outside running. And the guy holding the camera, because my first thought when something goes on is let me whip out my iPhone and hit record. No, exactly. I don't know who does that. It was cool as the other side, cool as a cucumber. Right? Not even shaking, nothing. Was it on a stick? Was it on a post? Where was the screaming and the crying? It just happened. I mean, I would expect my wife yelped about a grasshopper on a bat, and it scared the kid to scream for a couple. What would 30, 50 rounds do?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are some, we talk in self-defense scenarios where things like false memories and stuff like that, but I'm not going to bring that in there. I do agree that the most damning thing is that video where the guy's just holding the camera while kids are being walked out. It's surreal because I'm like, dude, put the camera down. If these kids are truly in danger, put the camera down and help out instead of
live streaming.
Yeah, why I'm gonna get so many retweets. But it's just very interesting that that took place. And no, it's never we only question it in my way to actually
seek the truth,
honor the victims by looking at the truth of it. So it's
something not just make something up just to get some clicks. Find the truth on it. Question everything. Why is I don't know anything that's like blind trust, blind faith, turn off your brain and just listen whatever the media tells you to listen. Because the media is supposed to come up with a script. You're supposed to believe whatever they show you, and you're not supposed to question anything. I
mean, isn't that what we're supposed to do? We're supposed to question everything.
Yeah, if that's the case, then there's no genocide in Israel. What was another thing that those guys were terrorists that we executed in in Venezuela. Maduro is a terrible human being. Trump is not on the Epstein list. What else?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think we're being overwhelmed with so many different topics, Steve, if you want to look at it that way, that people they don't have time to question. Because today it's Venezuela, and then tomorrow it's RFK at the Senate hearing, and then it's this, and then it's that, and it's as Amy's saying, what happened last week? I don't even know what happened last week. I don't remember. Annunciation school happened. I know that happened, but if you ask me anything else that happened last week,
you're 100% right. Because it's been like that since the start. It was so go. And even there was something nuts last week. We're already on to the 15th crazier thing now. And you're talking about that because that's off the ball. But you missed that one, like Stargate, day one. People missed that because by the time we got to week 3, we were already on other nutty things. Israel, Ukraine. I mean, we're still giving bombs to Ukraine. No one's talking about that, but we're still we're bombing up, we're bombing Somalia and other places. Mr. Peace Prize is literally killing people right now, and no one's thinking about that because we're focused on all this other stuff. Again, whenever they tell you to look here, there's 15 other things going on that they don't want you to see.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. The Texas flooding. That was a terrible thing, and that was only 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we've already moved on from that. North Carolina flooding. Everybody thought that was a year ago.
That was a year ago last week.
And so, yeah, they're still suffering. They're still going through stuff. Good luck getting any attention there.
Yeah. No, there's still people getting homes just now, getting homes. A year later. It's a year anniversary was last week at the end of September.
Yeah. So it's one of these things, a deluge of information to just keep people chasing. And X, whatever you think about X is a perfect vehicle for that because it's just constantly pumping out different story after different story after different story, different trending topic. And it can silo people, whether it's in entertainment or if it's in sport. And by the way, Steve, football's back. So
first week 1 this week, college football started this past week.
We're going up. Steve and I are confident we're going up against the NFL tonight. So we know.
Did they have Thursday night opener now?
Yeah, it's Eagles and Cowboys. So who cares? But the idea is that now pretty much the entire male population is off, is checked off for the next 17 weeks.
And on that, what you bring up is we're so centralized and everything. No one looks at our local areas because if you did, and don't worry about all, you get bombarded by global, and you're not supposed to. We're not supposed to live in a global world. So if you focus on what's going on next door, there might be some stuff like data centers or whatever that aren't supposed to be there, and you might miss that because you're worried about what's going on in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
and you live in Arizona.
Exactly. And it's always funny when people from like Minnesota or New York are commenting on, oh, what's happening in Florida. But you don't live there, homie. Like, what do you care?
Yeah,
Like,
actually, Paso brought something like that. We're being colonialized, and he's putting a tweet out about some city in Minnesota, Dearborn, maybe. I wrote, you don't live there, homie. What do you care?
yeah,
But you're doing it because plays into more clicks. You got to be the globalist. You got to be the nationalist. But if you really care about what your backyard is, I mean, Philadelphia, fix Philadelphia. You live in New York, fix New York. You have Minnesota, hey, there's Catholics Minnesota, fix Minnesota.
Yep. I know in Michigan, it's a big deal because like one of the Islamic places, their police badge is in Islam now. It's like, well, but people in Michigan are fine with that apparently. So they're allowing it to take place, and nothing the feds are going to do is going to stop that. We have our own issues here in Texas that we are not addressing, that we are not, looking at because we're too busy, voting and hoping for whatever, and worrying about what's happening in New York. We're worried about the mayoral race in New York City, Steve, instead of focusing on anything that's happening here in the state of Texas. Right. We paid attention to what was happening in Texas politics when it was the only thing that people were talking about. But now that that's gone, nobody cares. It's like, whatever. Yeah, we're fine. Don't worry about it anymore. And it's pretty sad to see that take place. And vote harder is a way, Bellator, if you kind of like focus it at your local and state level. Getting a good sheriff, getting a good attorney general, maybe you get lucky and get a good governor, like Steve will when Nancy Mace becomes the next governor of South Carolina. She will protect the state's interest in that area. But the whole point is, yeah, I agree, Bellator. Federally, nah. Federally, it's a complete lost cause at this point.
Yeah, you shouldn't even worry about it. You should never vote federally again. It's a complete waste of your time.
It kind of is upsetting that Ken Paxton is leaving the attorney general spot here in Texas because he was a pretty solid attorney general as far as fighting for the state's rights. Now he wants to go be a senator. So now we got to figure out
the Royce. Mm-hmm. Royce in Minnesota, the basketball player. He's would go U.S. Senate. I was like, dude, just stay home.
I'm sure he could win the governorship, or state.
That's where you vote. You vote for your governor. You vote for your state. You vote. Forget about D.C. I found that clip about the DNC guy.
Okay.
Where is it? Here we are.
I'm all for crime reduction, but the conservatives who are celebrating this, you listen to the mayor of Chicago talk about the gun crisis in America. Well, what is to stop, given the precedents that Donald Trump is setting, what is to stop a Governor Pritzker, a Governor Newsom to say, we have a gun crisis in America, just as legitimate on the facts arguments as a crime crisis, and say we're going to send the National Guard into states to go get their guns. There have to be standards here. The reason why Pritzker I get it for the politics. He keeps saying Trump was begging me to ask him to come. The reason why
he's not wrong.
No,
he's not wrong. And people don't want to believe it. They don't want to believe it. When you give them that argument, they're like, well, that's not an excuse. We need to wield power now, or we need to do it while we have it now. And I understand the sentiment. And my response is always, if you do it now, I don't care about like the fact that we're wielding power. Yeah, sure. Go ahead and do it. Just understand that down the line, what's going to take place, because we have examples. We always have examples of the door being the camel's nose goes under the tent, and that's it. Game over. There's no coming back from that. And so that's why it's always interesting. And I get the sentiment. I absolutely do, from people who are like, I'm tired of being pushed around. We have some people in charge. We should do some pushing around. I get it. That's politics. That really is. It's the idea of politics. It's just that at the federal level, it worries me because it's a pendulum. If you push it one way, it's going to get pushed back on you. That's always my big concern in that regard.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know how else to put on top of that. Well, I guess tell people there's a great post by Abbeville Institute about the what is a Yankee? A meddling Yankee is God's worst creation. He cannot run his own affairs correctly, but he's constantly interfering in the affairs of others, and he is always ready to repent of everyone's sin but his own. From a North Carolina paper in 1854. And that's you hear what a Yankee is. Somebody wants everyone to live exactly like it. We don't want these guns here. We're going to force them not to have guns. We don't want these people here. We don't, force them not to live. And even if you don't even live there, it's that idea of you live in Boston and you're upset that people in New Mexico don't live the way you do. Don't be that guy.
Doesn't matter. I mean, Boston, especially, you guys are getting run out of town by a transplant mayor. So you guys are allowed to transplant.
Whatever city it is.
Yep. So it's nuts in that regard. So it's really
the cry rooms.
All right. So you want to go first?
I guess I can.
Go first.
Speaking of don't be a Yankee. My bishop here in Charlotte is put out something about
worse
about schools today, school masses today. It is really crazy stuff. This is from Marate Chile. I actually have the email that was sent out though. He's the use of kneelers and communion rails for distribution of Holy Communion is forbidden. We knew that. He has some kind of bad hatred for kneelers for some reason.
He's got
there must be students to serve as extraordinary ministers of Holy Communion. I asked a friend of mine that's pretty good on liturgy, is this a violation of the GERM and all that? He goes, yes. You can't mandate the use of extraordinary, he said monkeys. I won't tell you who it was. They're supposed to be extraordinary. So again, two students has to serve as extraordinary ministers for school masses. A projector screen and screen are being installed in the chapels to facilitate the singing of hymns and longer prayer parts of the Mass, such as the Gloria and Creed, because apparently kids don't know this already. I don't know what schools that don't know this here, but they all do. At large Masses, a student is to give a testimony about their life lasting 3 to 5 minutes between the final prayer and the blessing and dismissal, which is I jokingly call the ads of the Mass, the ads time. Now we're breaking down for, hey, what's going on in the bulletin that you're about to take over. We're going to halt the Mass and stop praying just so we can do some promotions right now, and then we're going to get back into praying afterwards. As my guy said, he goes, that you can't do. What was that? Sermon of the Other, I think it is. It's the testimonies are just a sermon under another name. So that'd be against the GERM. So again, most of the stuff he's just doing, I don't know why he's doing things like this, but man, he doesn't have a clue, I guess, what isn't part of the GERM. So again, it's just, we're in crazy town here. My wife actually said, a friend of mine texted me up saying their house owner is going to sell, so they have to find a place to live. And she goes, before this year, I would always tell people to come here because so good of a diocese. Now we don't know what's going on. We're like it's like a first to last in a sense. I mean, just literally nutty stuff. Saint of the Week. I guess anybody that stands up to any of this would be my Saint of the Week. I don't know who is. It's a very low bar right now. The whole week I've been doing a show or something, but I haven't found anybody actually. We'll go Florida, since the AG banned the jibbity jabs mandates, and it's making people literally lose it to the point that libs were voluntarily going in and getting poison injected in their arms.
Oh, I saw that.
Stick it to the man.
Yeah, no, you're not sticking it to anybody but yourself, homie.
Yeah.
All right, so my cry room is going to be the Pam Law and Bunny Bondi and the DOJ trying to use red flag laws against trannies. I am not a defender of the troons. As some, I felt like I was being painted at today as I was making my statements. But an infringement on one group of people here in these United States will eventually become an infringement upon all. And the fact that was even thought of as an idea there in the cry room for that, I'm going to give RFK Jr. the Saint of the Week just for literally giving it to the Democratic senators today at the Senate hearing, making them all lose their minds. So I'll give him credit for that. He's probably the best pick out of Trump's cabinet picks. Once again, low bar, but still, I think he's probably the best out of all of them. So I'll give him the Saint of the Week chops there, because I don't really know who else to give it to.
Hey, Theodore, I can't wait to move to Charleston. I would love to move to Charleston. I would love to do it. I can't afford it right now, but trust me, that's my favorite city.
He's moving. He's hopping down that way.
Dude, I would go to Charleston tomorrow. That's when I say it's my favorite city, not even a close second on there. Beach guy at heart. Charleston's just beautiful anyways. Hey, there's crime in Charleston. Maybe they're going to invade Charleston. Folly Beach was fantastic before the Yankees came down and destroyed that idea. Used to be you could do anything you want in Folly. Now there's a libertarian that was the mayor. And then what happened was a bunch of Ohioans came down and started doing all kinds of crazy stuff down there. And now it's not the same anymore, but still beautiful. Yes, yeah. God bless John C. Calhoun. It was the Saint of the Week. Michael is now the nominated Saint of the Week for just saying that.
Forgetting that. No, South Carolina is gorgeous. South Carolina is absolutely gorgeous. But yes.
Just to mention J.C. Calhoun. That's some quality stuff right there.
Yeah, if you make Steve happy, you talk about John C. Calhoun. All right, folks, that's it for this episode of News from the Pew. Please do us a favor, like, subscribe, and share the News from the Pew. It helps the show out. If you'd like, please go. If you like Steve's opinions and what he's doing, watch Clown Planet every single day on Sensus Fidelium. Also go to sensusfidelium.tv. Download the app. It's kind of like his personal Patreon. It'll help support the channel for him. Nothing is banned on the app, and nothing can get taken down on the app. You get two free weeks. You get 2-week trial, ladies and gentlemen, if you check it out. If you'd like to support my work, you can go to Amazon, type in The Armed Catholic, and that will come up for you, and check it out. $15. It's not a bad book. I think it's pretty good. Help support what I'm doing. You can buy that. You can also subscribe to Rickcast. Just type in the Rickcast on YouTube or on Rumble. It'll come up, or Rickcast reviews, any of that kind of stuff. That'll help support this channel, or support me as well. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. We'll talk to you all next week. God bless, and Viva Cristo Rey. Thank you.